So after downloading, then you install. Okay, then you install. Right. Okay. So this is Photoshop. I think CC 2019. Yeah. Yours might be different from mine if you are using CS6 or CS4, CS5, or even if you are using CC. This one is 2019, and yours might not appear this way, but because and don't you shouldn't be worried about some of these things. These are the works that I've been able to do with this software. So that is why it is displaying all these works over here. You know. So first of all, let me explain why the need for Photoshop in the first place as a web developer. Website is not only about text or codes. It also involves images and videos. Okay, and as Photoshop has evolved over time, now you can even use Photoshop for animation, to animate pictures, to animate video animations and the rest. So in as much you want your website to be very interactive, I know that is why you learn PHP. That's why you are using Joomla to make things very interactive. One of the things we need to also put it at the back of our mind is that when you have correct and good graphics, people are attracted to that. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so that's okay. Okay, so right now we are going to look at some of the basic things that you can you know learn in Photoshop. The truth of the matter is I've been using this software, I think, from SS2 or some coming. So look at the years. So roughly more than 8 years now. You understand? Um, I've watched numerous tutorials, and what I can say about Photoshop is that it is a professional software. And whenever you hear professional software, what we mean is that there is no end to that. Okay, there's no end to professional software. This software can be used to do so many things, in life. I can use this particular software to create. I told you to edit pictures, to also create pictures, to do a lot of stuff. But because of our course, that's the graphic design aspect, we are going to limit ourselves with the fundamental things that we need to know about Photoshop in connection with graphic design. I hope you are cool with that. So the first thing that we need to know and also understand is some of the menus in the software. Okay, so these are the menus. Okay, these are the various menus here. So obviously the file contains basic commands. So we have a lot of things, just like Microsoft Word and the rest. We have new, open, but there's something called browsing in Bridge. Adobe Photoshop is an Adobe product. Okay, Adobe is very good when it comes to multimedia. So they have created their own platform called it Adobe InBridge. Okay, so what InBridge does is that if I'm having Adobe After Effects, and let's say I work in After Effects. After Effects is mainly for effective movies. So with if I have a work in After Effects, I can with Adobe InBridge I can export and bring my work back to Photoshop because all of them are on the same company. Okay, it's just like you having a Samsung. You know that mostly Samsung chargers work with themselves, but when you move to, let's say, a Techno or different brand, their majority of their I think chargers are very different. All right. So then you go to open as well. Maybe if you have worked and you have saved it and you want to um, you know open it, that's where you can come. Open as smart object. We will look at smart object in the near future. All right. So we have the edit. We have various commands over here, and the commands are many. I'm just going to open your eyes on some few of them. I told you I've been using this for years, and some of the commands I've not even tried it before, and that's what makes professional software really interesting. So when I click on file, I'm just going to create something new. Um, one of the things that you have to be good with as a web developer is the dimensions. Okay, and that's where, oh, who is just WhatsApping me? WhatsApping me. Oh, okay, sorry, sorry. So one of the things that um, you have to, all of you have to know, as long as web development is concerned, is the dimensions. Okay, so let's look at the width and the height. Of course, the width and the height, determines the orientation of your picture. Okay, so first of all, let me talk about dimensions. So we can work in one pixels, inches, centimeters, millimeters, point, pickers. Let me show you one of the easiest way, which will help you when you are working with Photoshop as a web developer. If, for instance, I want to um, I want to create an image with a particular size. The first thing I need to do is whether it should be in pixels, inches, or centimeters, or any other things. All right. But sometimes maybe the template that you are using, they will tell you that let's say it is in inches, but maybe you are very good at one particular dimensions. Okay. So when you come online, you can see that from, let's say, inches to centimeters, and this thing helps me a lot. So if there is anything that you want to design, anything which is in one platform to the other, you can use this thing to convert. Okay, so there are a lot of things that you can use from here. You can Google it and you can use it, which will really help you. All right. So let's go back to our Photoshop. So your dimensions are very necessary, and whether normally I work in pixels, and normally, of course, with graphic, majority of the templates, their dimensions are in pixels, right? So we know that the width, when we talk about, so let's take this one for example. So the width of this is from here to here, and the height of it is from here to here. All right. So um, depending on the size of your website, okay, maybe you are working on a website that maybe you want. And sorry, the other time I showed you something I think you need to know as a web developer. Now, when you can get the dimension of any page online, when I right click here, let me see, and let's go to either view page source or inspect. Let's go to the view page source first. Now, the view page source will display the original codes behind it. You understand? And this is very beneficial to you if you want to, you know, try to find your way around a particular website. And this is where PHP is is important over here, because PHP is a server side. So it means that whatever you see over here, if it is being written with the PHP language, it might not necessarily be important. Why? Because all these commands reside on a server, not your client side. All right. So that's the one aspect. And you can also go to inspect. What the inspect does is inspect will show you the details of the website. Okay. Now, so see, I went to inspect. Now now I know that we have 833 by 2000, whatever that number over there. What happens is that we are saying that the width is this one, and the height is the 833. So that one, when you put your pointer on it, it highlights the particular area, which is this place. So this helps a lot when you want to build exactly the same website that you don't know dimensions of. When you go to the website, example for this one, when I come here and I go to inspect, it's going to give me a lot of things about this particular website. I don't know if you even with the body, the font, this is the CSS with the font, everything, the color, everything that they use. I'll be able to get all of these things over here. So actually, what is happening is I'm getting the codes from here. So that is one of the cool features that I wanted to show you. You know, okay. So of course, look at it. I can now get to see. Oh, this is crazy. Look at it. I can get to see everything that comes with this website. Okay, so that's it. So
So, but excuse me, with the inspect,
talk to me. I'm
you
listening.
can't edit the code of the website, right?
It depends. Something now that is why PHP is very important. It depends. For instance, if you go to a website that they use Bootstrap, okay, Bootstrap
Okay.
website is like having HTML. You understand? So if we have ways and means that you can even edit it, which actually affect it, but that is also a different way altogether. But then PHP is more secured because PHP the scripts are not on your HTML when you load it, it's on your machine, like it loads in your web browser. But now that is why some website, the moment the connection is off, everything goes off. But some website too, unless you refresh it, some of them too, even if you refresh it, they have connection to still be on. I don't know if you understand me. So um
Uh-huh.
the question that you ask, of course it can be done. Of course it can be done, but then we have ways that we do that. But for you to be more on the safer side, I will encourage us to code more in PHP. That is why I encourage people with content management software. People think that is very easy. I look at them and I laugh. You the other time I showed you what even my small web browser can do.
Okay.
You understand? All right. So any more question before I move on? Please, any more question before I move on?
No, please.
Okay. So so back to our Photoshop. Uh, so with our width, our height. Now let me explain something with the resolution. Look, the size. Have you wondered why when you send a picture, let's say you take a picture with your correct phone. Of course, I'm talking about correct phones, not China. Sorry, not the other phones. You know what I mean. Have you wondered why when you send it on WhatsApp to somebody, the size reduces? Sometimes it change to from megabyte to kilobyte. You know. Now what happens is WhatsApp have default resolution. It doesn't matter the size of it. If you don't send it through the document section and you send it like a normal picture, it is going to reduce. The resolution is going to reduce. What does resolution do to picture? Now the resolution changes the quality of a picture. You understand? So the higher the resolution, the higher the quality, and the higher the size. I don't know if you understand. So I work in 300 resolution, but then depending on what I want to do, if and you see, if you have a website that your pictures are of higher quality and the sizes are huge, it takes a longer time to load, and people will complain. Sometimes it is not from your web hosting company. Sometimes it's not from the people their bandwidth. Sometimes the actual problem is the things on the website. You know, sometimes so working around 300 resolution is not bad, or 200 resolution is not bad. You understand? And let me talk about the color mode. This is normally for web design. As a web designer, you not struggle with RGB. RGB means red, green, and I think blue or something like that colors. I think this one is okay. But then if maybe you want to design something, you want to go and print like a large format, let's say banner, a sticker, and the rest, I will recommend that you work in CMYK. Okay, um, because when you go to this printing big printing press, they have to convert it back to CMYK, and sometimes it takes away the beauty of your design. But as a graphic designer, RGB is okay. Working RGB. All right. So the bit is also talks about the quality of the colors. Okay. So I'm working in 8-bit, but if I have a serious design that I know that more money is inside, then I switch to 16-bit. Of course, it will also affect the size of your file. Understand? So the other thing the last thing I'm going to talk about here, which is the background content. We have white, black, and background color. And this is very, very important. You know, default, you can set the default one to be white, then black and a background color. But what is important over here is that um, I recommend that always use white. But then if you're working with, you, of course, you can change it. Say, I recommend white because it is very easy to make it transparent. When you along the line, especially when you are working with logos, logos have to have a transparent background so that it can blend with your website. 5V icon. The other time I showed you what a 5V icon is at the top there, and all these things have to have um, a transparent background. And normally, for you to have a transparent background, you need to always save your work in .png, the PNG file. Um, JPEG or JPG will give you a white background by default. A white background by default. But when you save your work in um, PNG and the rest, it will give you a transparent, background. Depending if maybe you have hide the background, you have make it transparent. I'll show you how to make a background transparent and the rest. All right. So let's quickly do something now. I can decide to say that right now I have my section, that is the recent section. You have the save, then you have photos. I told you this is a professional software, so you can use it to edit photos. That is not my goal here. But then when I see that people are interested in graphic design, maybe you will move there. Then I keep on telling you, unless you have to ask me questions, because there are a whole lot of things that I know that I can't teach you like this. But then when you ask questions, the moment you begin to ask questions, that is where to open me up to be able to you know teach. So let's do something. So I'm just going to create any file. So you can just come here. These are my recent things, but then I can use photos, which will give me a lot of default photo sizes. Then I can also come to the print. Print will give you like A4, the size of but let me work with A6. But this time around, I'm going to change the orientation from portrait to landscape. All right. Then I'll come here. Let me switch it to pixels so that I can get the. I like working. I told you I like working in pixels. So now this is it. This is just an example. I can then you can give it a name like camp, you know, Photoshop one. Okay, let's leave it. Now when I click on create, this is my oh Collins, do you want to say anything because you have raised your hand?
Yes, please. I wanted to ask about the puzzles.
Yeah.
Why do you use the puzzles, and what is its advantages over the others?
Oh, it's just a dimension. Okay, it's just like we have centimeters and millimeters, but I feel comfortable working in that because I've used it for years. I don't know if you understand. People prefer this HTC over Samsung. Others to prefer Techno. So it depends on which one that you like.
Okay, and I learned that if you are working on the puzzles, there are some kind of number that you should work on or you should use as instead of the resolution.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening. So,
and I wanted to know the standard for the puzzles.
So what I'll say over here is that there's nothing like an absolute in graphic design. It boils down to what you want to do. I don't know if you understand. So I stated earlier on, if you joined before, at the starting of the class, I talk about the resolution, being, I would prefer to work in 300. Somebody will say that 300 is small for me. For example, if you take, let's say, a 50 lens to take a picture, you come and the resolution is around, let's say, 400 and above, So it depends on what you want. I don't know if you understand me. And for instance, if I'm designing something for my WhatsApp DP, I can't use I cannot use a resolution which is higher like 300. No, it needs to come down. Even the sizes, all this needs to come down because what I'm doing over there is different. I don't know if you understand me. So normally it boils down to what you per se you want to do. But you have to know that if I if I raise the resolution, it means this. If I increase the length and the width and the height, this is what I'm going to get. I don't know if you understand. Collins, are you okay? Oh,
I'm okay. I'm okay.
okay. All right. So let's move on. Please, if you have any question, just ask Collins. You can raise up your hand with your.
I also have a question. So you talked about the resolution and the quality of pictures, especially when you're sending through WhatsApp and other things, the reduction of quality. Now, what happens is that maybe you have to work on somebody's website, and the medium of exchange with the pictures is through WhatsApp, which means that the quality of the picture is going to reduce. If that happens and you're supposed to work on the person's pictures, how are you going to
No,
increase or just get back your resolution to get the kind of quality picture that you need?
okay. So, Bob, that is an intelligent question. Normally, what I do is that I don't entertain pictures. For instance, if I'm working for a client, I don't entertain them sending me pictures through WhatsApp. I give them my email that they can send it through my mail, or I give them my I show them how to send the files to me or the pictures to me WhatsApp by using the document section. So let me use an example. Let me show you. Um, this is not Amido, I'm going to use yours as an example, right? So you can use the document section. I don't know if you can see the document section over here. You can use the document section over here to send whatever you want to send. The size won't change. It will come just as it is.
Okay, okay,
All right.
okay. I get that one.
Any more question before we move on? Okay. So let's move on. So some of you might not have this interface. Now, I'm getting this interface because I made it to be so. That's the first thing I want you to understand. Anytime you hear professional software, it means that you can manage, twist, do a lot of stuff with the software in a way that suits you. You understand? Because because I like this look just like CS6 interface, but then because I like it this way, it doesn't mean that your interface should be this way. So the first thing I want to teach you when it comes to Photoshop is when you go to the Windows section, okay, we have something called Workspace. Now my own is at the essentials default, but then I've also um, activate some layers over here, the various commands over here. So, but then if you don't have it, maybe yours might be at the photography or painting motion or whatever. But you can always reset your workspace from here, or you can select the essentials to guess what I have over here. And don't forget that always leave this one on. I think character, leave the character on. It will help you a lot because what we'll be doing more is about the typing and the rest. That's why I want you to leave the character on. Please, I recommend that you all get a book. As I move on, you write a lot, please, because from here I won't be coming back to this place again. So I recommend that you get a book. Although I'm recording, I I will recommend that you get a book. Okay. So this is my space. Let's say if I want to use this as my slider. Okay. So let's assume this is it. Now I'm going to press, and please, I'll be using a lot of shortcuts, so I'll be mentioning them. Like I said earlier on, this is something I've been using for years. Perfection doesn't come just like that. It takes a lot of time. That is why we call something skill. This is something I've been practicing my whole life. So don't be intimidated the way I'm moving fast and the rest. I want you to move in your own pace. If you don't understand anything, raise up your hand and draw my attention, you know, in the second section. Now they are telling me that remaining meeting time is like we are having less than 3 minutes. So um, I'll just show you one or few things. Then we go and rest. We rest like 10 minutes. Then we come back again. I'll make the new link available. they are telling me to buy the Zoom so that I can have unlimited way. So that's just by the way. So I'm going to the first shortcut, key that I'm going to show is Control+0. When you press Control+0 on the keyboard, it fits whatever you are doing to the side of your screen. It's just like when you're working on the website, you're using the fluid. I told you the fluid, makes your work adjust itself dependent on the nature of your screen. You understand? So that's it. So we have this thing have been adjusted nicely. Now, depending on what you want to do, for instance, if I want this one as a slider, then the first thing I need to look at is the pictures that the people have given me. Okay, so I created one website, for Assemblies of God Midwest, which is not out yet. So let me go there and let's say let me assume that I'm working on their website again. So I'm going to desktop. I'm going to AG. Okay. Yeah. So okay. So let's assume I'm creating a slider for this church. So okay. Kwesi, talk to me. You raise your hand.
Yeah, please. When you are, did you how do we say, import the pictures when you are trying to copy a picture to your Photoshop?
Oh, so Photoshop has so many ways of dealing with pictures. Okay, so the first one is you can go on Open, Control O. Okay, you can use Open here. You can use I think please embedded here. You can also use drag and drop. As it is open right now, I can go to my desktop, okay, then pick my own picture. There's a picture that, okay, then I'll just put it inside. Just drag and drop. It's going to take a lot of time, but then it will come. It is going to take a lot of time because because of the camera, the type of camera that I choose. Look at what it has opened for me. It has opened something new, different. But because of the camera that I use, because the nature of this camera, the quality is sharp, and the file type of it. That is why it has opened the camera 3. How do you call it? I think this is raw camera. I think raw filter, something like that. Camera raw filter. Yeah. So depending on let me use normal picture. The normal picture, which I know that it will not open anything. So let me use the button logo. So you see, I just place the thing on this place, just like that. But you are seeing a white background because of this one. Please, Photoshop make good use of layers. All right. So very soon the meeting is going to come, but then we are going to rest for 10 minutes. Then we are going to come.